can see, I'm in the car again, vlogging. I know. I need to catch up on my VlogMas. I'm a little behind. But anyways, so this video has been highly requested. And as you can tell by the title, the pay. How is it broken down? What's a good pay and what's not a good pay? Okay, now, before I start talking, every agency is very much so different, you guys. It's very different, because non-tax is involved as well as tax pay is involved. And I'm going to do a separate video on that because I don't want to confuse you. It's a lot to it than people really might just think. It is a lot to it. So I'm going to do that video separately, talking about taxes and what I learned about taxes. And I definitely want you guys to definitely be aware as well. Like, I wish there was more videos about this, but honestly, it's very slim. A lot of people usually talk about RN travel assignments, but I'm here to help you guys. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead. I'm tired of y'all asses. I'm tired of y'all. Not you guys. The people on the road. It's ridiculous. Like, these people don't know how to drive. Okay, anyways, I know I keep saying that, but whatever. So, to begin, get a paper and pen, because I want you guys to write down notes, because this video is going to be very informative and you guys might forget. So I'm going to do an example. Now, let's say you apply for an agency, you're accepted. Well, before even accepting a contract, get a paper and pen and jot down the pay and play around with the numbers, so that way you know how much you're getting paid. And you'll, trust me, you would know more or less if it's a waste of time or if this trip will be very beneficial. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to make money with an assignment. You're not trying to just work to work and not get paid. Especially dealing with COVID patients, okay? Don't let these agencies lowball you. I'm going to repeat that again. Do not let these agencies lowball you. There are plenty of agencies that you could apply to. That's going to be a separate video. So I'm trying to do everything kind of separate so I'm not all over the place. So to begin, let's say it's $25 an hour. Okay, your base pay is $25 an hour. Your overtime pay is $35. Now, let me just stop right there, because I know a lot of people are wondering, why is overtime just like $10 more? A lot of times, it's around that amount as far as overtime. I know with a regular job, overtime is really a time and a half. And with agencies, they're a little bit more different, because a lot of agencies that I work with, they'll just throw like a couple of dollars more, and it's not necessarily a time and a half. Okay, so let's kind of get clear with that a little bit. So your base pay is $25 and your overtime is $35. Now, let's say the agency decided to give you housing, like a housing allowance, which is your stipend. Pretty much, they'll give you an allowance every week for your housing. Meaning, if you go out of state, they're willing to pay for your stay at a hotel, Airbnb. You can live with a family and friend and not have to come out the pocket at all. And that entire money, your allowance money, goes in your pocket. Now, if you have family and friends everywhere around the world, God bless your heart. you know, you can throw them a little $100 a week or whatever, that's perfect. But a lot of times you might not have family everywhere around the world. Now, I would not recommend to get an Airbnb, me personally. Now, whatever you choose is what you choose, but I would not recommend to get an Airbnb. Why? Because Airbnbs are expensive, especially right now with the COVID. Everybody's trying to make their money at the end of the day. Everybody is trying to make their money. Even with agencies, these recruiters, yeah, they get paid. They're trying to make their money. You think they care about how much money you're going to come out of pocket? A lot of times when they mention, oh, you know, I care about you and this and that, I care about you making money and all of that. Okay, sounds good, but a lot of times they're trying to make money themselves. Yeah, they do get money off of the employee. Now, once again, I would not recommend getting an Airbnb. It's going to be too much money. Now, hotels. A lot of people don't know that you are able to get a discount 8 times. Now listen to me. 8 times out of 10, you are able to get a discount if you mention to like the manager that you work with an agency or whatever, you work at whatever hospital nearby, and you basically want to know if you're able to get a discount. Before you book your room, please Google the location that you found and ask the manager, okay? Once again, ask the manager. Don't just ask any employee, because 9 times out of 10 they don't really be knowing anyway. It's better to talk to the manager. That's what I think. So before you even book, talk to the manager. Now, if there isn't a discount available, which it should be, because right now we're in this whole pandemic and you're basically there to help out. These hospitals are short. These COVID sites are short. They're hiring like crazy. They should be able to give you a little 15% discount or whatever amount of discount. Now, if they do not, please ask your recruiter, hey, you know, is there any discount I could get with the company, which whatever agency you're with, is there a discount I could get as far as like with rooms and things like that? Ask them. It doesn't hurt. A lot of times they do have agency discounts, depending on what agency you work with. Now, there's a lot of agencies, so you definitely have to ask. A lot of times the recruiter will tell you, but a lot of times it might just slip their mind and they won't tell you, and you'll never know. So it's good to ask before you book your room. Now, if worse comes to worse and you're stuck paying the weekly fee at the hotel, if worse comes to worse, I suggest to Google Orbis, Priceline, Hotwire, and I believe it's Last Minute Hotel. Yeah, Last Minute Hotel. I hope I did not forget one of these like discounted spots, but I'll definitely leave it in my description down below, so you guys could use the third party as well in order to get a great price. Now, don't rush and book. You guys, do your research. I'm telling you, do your research before you book. And another thing that I want to mention is, let's say your assignment is 4 weeks. Do not book your room for 4 weeks, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of times you're coming out of pocket first before money is even handed to you. Now, please remember what I tell you. 100% of the time, you will be coming out of pocket, and then you will be getting reimbursed your first check. Please keep in mind that your first check is not that first week that you work. It will be the second week that you work. Okay? So, you got to make sure that when you go, and this is something else I definitely want to talk about in another video, because I do want to go into details with it, but I honestly have to like separate the videos and separate the topics. You do not want to just book for the entire 4 weeks. Do it a week at a time and then take it from there. Why? Because you might find a cheaper room later on, or your contract might be canceled. Sorry, but it happens. It happens. So don't just rush and book it for like 4 weeks. Just do it for 1 week at a time. Now, you are your own person. You are able to make your own decisions. But coming from somebody that like have experience, trust me, and I learned so much. It's ridiculous. Like, do it a week at a time, you guys. Do it a week at a time and take it from there. Because one, you're coming out of pocket because they're not physically handing you the money. And you definitely want to make sure when you do travel assignments, make sure you have money to the side, okay? Please, 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 please have money to the side. If you do not take that trip. Please, you don't. So, now that we got the base pay and the overtime and the housing allowance situated, now, oh wait, another thing. Sorry. Let me go back just a little bit because I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Now, if you have a travel buddy, which is very helpful, because I do, maybe not all the time, but I do. You are able to split the room costs with your travel buddy. I'm telling you guys, this is a smart idea, because whatever is remaining from that allowance that they give you, you pocket that money. Make sure it's non-tax. I'm gonna do a different video about that. Woo, honey. What I learned, hot mess. But anyways, so if you do have a travel buddy, of course, that's more than perfect. You know, you're not really coming out of pocket that much. You're actually saving money. So another thing I want to talk about is the meal. Your meals. Let's say it's about $250. The agency will give you the allowance, not handing you the money. Keep in mind that these agencies are reimbursing you. So you gotta have money to eat. Like, you gotta survive. You have to eat. Now, how you use your money is another thing. If you want to if you have a job in Miami, and honey, you want to go to Prime 112 every other day and kill your allowance within 2 days, by all means, go ahead, girl. If you want to eat lavish and, you know, spend so much money a day in food, go ahead. Or you could be smart about it. You could cook from time to time. A lot of times you could find a hotel with a refrigerator and things like that. If you guys watched my previous video, I did a room tour. I had a whole entire kitchen. So I was able to cook sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, yeah, I did cook. So it really did help. Or whatever. Hey, if you really, really want to save money, listen, go couponing. You know, if you're the queen or whatever at couponing, you could go couponing or whatever and save money pretty much. And whatever you don't use, you pretty much pocket. So that's another thing. Your food allowance. So now that we have the base, we have the overtime, we have the housing allowance, and we have the food allowance. Another thing would be the rental. Now, a lot of times when you go out of town, a lot of companies will not pay for your rental, but the only company that I know of, which I'm still researching, is Prime Time. Yeah, so I hope I'm saying the name right, but I'll put it like down below or whatever, and I'll put it down in my description, because they do pay for your rental, which is amazing, which is perfect actually. But a lot of agencies will not pay for your rental, but they will. Now keep in mind, like, all of this that I just spoke about is pretty much in a bucket. Like, and let me kind of explain what I'm talking about. Let's say you have a bucket. Your base pay is in the bucket. Your overtime hourly pay is in the bucket. Your housing allowance is in a bucket. Your food allowance is in a bucket. Now, your rental car sometimes is optional. Now, with the one company that I told you about is optional, which is perfect to get because they're paying for it. But they do take the amount into consideration inside your bucket. Now, a lot of times agencies will be like, okay, you know what? Okay, we're doing this to kind of help you out a little bit more. We're going to lower down your base pay. They are able to do that. So you got to make sure you ask questions and don't just rush into signing contracts. You want to make sure that you read everything and talk about the pay. Ask as many questions as you would like about pay, because that's the whole point. The whole point is for you to get money. Like, you're making money and you're traveling around the world while doing that. Amazing. Especially right now with this COVID and what's going on. It's amazing. Now, you will get paid more if you deal with COVID patients. So, you know, the agency might boost up the pay because of the fact that you are dealing with COVID patients. So that's another thing to take into consideration as well. Just make sure you wear the proper PPE and go to work. You know, pray about it, because God forbid, you know, you come back and you're sick. So make sure you just take care of yourself. Like, take care of yourself, you guys, okay? And I think that's about it. I think I'm about to wrap up this video. So I think that's about it as far as with pay. Oh, another thing is, you will have a guaranteed amount of hours with most of the agencies. They might say, okay, 48 hours guaranteed. So let's say, this is an example. So let's say they say 40. Let's say that they tell you it's 48 hours guaranteed, meaning the 80 hours. Meaning the 40 hours. 40 hours times like 25, and then the 8 hours that remain. The 8 hours that's remaining in that week will pretty much be your OT pay. So you could definitely, you know, calculate that and see how much it is. And I'm driving right now, so I can't really tell you guys. But yeah, so $25 times 40. Boom. I'm gonna put up on the screen. And then $35 times 8. Boom. Put it on the screen. So that right there, this amount right here that I'll show you guys right now, that's pretty much the total pay, not including your housing and your food, and of course taxes, because unfortunately we all have to pay taxes. It's just a part of life. We just have to pay taxes. So that's about it, you guys. So just make sure, a lot of times when the housing is included in the contract, is not necessarily a bad idea. you are able to pocket more with the food and the housing. It's all about how you plan out like your week and things like that, as far as where you want to stay and how much you want to spend, basically. So you are able to create how much money you want to make. If there's overtime available, overtime would definitely help. But you guys always keep in mind that if you're killing overtime, that tax is ridiculous. And some states, they have even extra taxes, and that's like another video. Oh my God, it's just so much to talk about. But thank you guys. Hopefully you guys understand exactly what I just talked about or whatever. But as soon as you get the numbers from the agency, take a paper and pen and jot it down, compare the hotels, know what you would want to eat, how would you do as far as food, if you want to eat lavish or if you want to eat decent to survive, pretty much. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching my video. I try not to make it too long, but I've been getting like a lot of questions about it, so I decided to create a video to help you guys out. You guys make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below, because thank you guys so much for starting this journey with me. I'm so excited that I'm able to talk about all of this. And at first I really wasn't going to talk about it on my YouTube channel, because I have like other things I also talk about as well. But I'm just going to create like a playlist, so that way you guys are able to just go to the playlist and know what direction you want to listen, like what videos you want to listen to that pretty much contains the information that you would like. So thank you guys so much for watching my video, and see you in the next vlog. Bye. Be safe.